Well, we've got Mr. Zeke Obi, who is a legal practitioner here with us in the studio. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
And it's the suspension of the SGF and the NIA. The acting president is the one leading that panel. But let's get your reaction quickly on part of what was said before we delve into this matter about lawyers. People have this impression that when certain persons are perhaps been accused of corrupt practices or being involved in any of those, lawyers who are supposed to be upright or forthright shouldn't be defending them. Is that the case?
Well, that cannot be the case. The Constitution guarantees every accused person the right of defense by a lawyer of his choice. And lawyers have a duty to defend anybody who is accused of any offense, even where the person cannot afford a lawyer. The Constitution provides also that, even the laws provide that the state should provide a lawyer for the accused person, particularly where the matter is a capital offense. So it is not true. A lawyer is merely doing his job by defending somebody who is accused. Don't forget that the person is deemed innocent until proven otherwise. So I think it's a misconception to believe that lawyers who defend criminals are also guilty or are criminals themselves. I've just listened to Professor Dekunle saying that a lawyer who is defending persons who are accused of corruption and collecting money are themselves corrupt and that they'll get at them. I think it's a very, very unfair statement to make. A lawyer is doing his job and is entitled to his fees. If he's referring to the case, a recent case of Fayoshe, and I think it's Chief Michael Zekome, I think it's very, very wrong.
Even though we don't know if that's what he means.
Yes, but obviously that's the insinuation he's making. I think it's very wrong of him to say that.
Do you think the fight of corruption has taken the way of selective justice?
I think so. I think so. That is not to say that whoever commits a crime or whoever is alleged to be corrupt, wherever he comes from, should not be arrested and punished. No.
Okay.
But what we have seen so far is that there seem to be some allegations of selectivity in the entire thing.
Okay, let's get into this topic proper for this segment, which is the suspension of the DG of NIA and the SGF. Lots of people waiting for that report, which the acting president led, to be submitted. But now that the president is away on continuing his medical vacation, what do you think becomes of that report, and will they remain suspended until that report is submitted to them?
Well, the report was supposed to have been submitted some 2 weeks ago or so. The president is not there now, but we have an acting president who is supposed to exercise all the powers of the president. Even though the VP was the head of that panel, but he acted in that capacity as a VP. If the report is ready, I don't think the report ought to or should wait for the return of the president.
What happens?
Whoever the acting president is ought to deal with that report.
But he's the same person,
yes,
who was vice president, still vice president now in his capacity, and by law, the acting president, can he submit the report to himself?
So long as he's exercising the powers of the president, I think he can do that. But let me also say that even the idea of setting up that committee in the first place, I think one can raise certain questions there.
Such as?
The reason is crime has been allegedly committed by the SGF, by the DG of NIA, and there are agencies already set up by the Constitution and by the laws to deal with investigation of crime. The FCC is there, the police is there, the ICPC is there. It is not an administrative inquiry. It is an allegation or investigation of crimes allegedly committed by those two people. And I do not think, with all due respect, that it's for the matter that the president should have handled in-house.
But we did ask the presidential spokesperson the same question, and he thought, look, it's just an administrative panel. It's part of the first steps that need to be taken. That does not mean that that or those agencies will not be called upon to do their job if they have questions to answer?
Well, there's a distinction between what you can do administratively and what you can do by way of investigation, criminal investigation. If there are allegations, for example, those in the public service, there are allegations, you issue a query. Depending on what the result of the query is or the response is, if criminal allegations are made there, you refer it straight away to the investigating agencies. The government or the presidency does not have the powers, in my respectful view, to investigate criminal allegations. And I mean, this is quite clear. There are so many cases where even companies that have had to sack people because of criminal allegations of theft and so on, the courts, up to the Supreme Court, have said, no, your duty is limited to the basic administrative inquiry. But for any crime committed or allegedly committed, it is the police that will have to do that.
Okay, we'll be back and get your concluding comments in a moment. Do join us again.